What is up, everybody? This is Goodman, and we are signing up for another video. So, and we remember in the last one, we were down in Destin, and we are still down in Destin. This day is going to be one in which we aren't painting yet, but we are finishing up the last projects so that we can get to painting. And I think painting was like 2 days worth of painting. Also, if you hear some random noises, I have a baby monitor right here because I try to record these when my children are asleep, and my wife is working today, so therefore I'm at home alone with them. And as you can tell, it's going great. I mean, it does go great. So anyway, let's get started. All right, so first we start with the Monster. I don't drink those anymore. That's really unfortunate, but I do love the taste of Monster. It's fantastic. Anyway, so we have this little patch that we did where the HVAC unit leaked. That came out really, really well. This is a wet sponge, a sanding sponge for sheetrock. Now, I have used this in another video. It was when I did the flip by myself. And I love how I didn't show, did I not show it doing it downstairs? I don't think I did. I didn't show doing it on that downstairs patch, but I did do it on the upstairs patch here, and I'll show you guys what, I'm pretty sure I show you how I do it and what I do. So it's just using water, it's just using a sponge. You have no sanding, so there's no dust whatsoever, and literally you're doing like what Mahmood's doing. You're just kind of, you kind of just move on the little sides, on the edges of it to make it so it's nice and smooth. Make sure you knock down any big stuff. And like I said, water is what's, you're dissolving the mud where you need to. That's it. So it's a lot better than doing sanding, getting dust everywhere, and then having to go and clean it all and all this other stuff. It does not work, I would say, for like bigger projects. Obviously, if it worked so well for bigger projects, then all of these big, humongous, drywall places companies would be doing this. They'd be using this and stuff, and that's just not the case. So, yeah, not ideal and for humongous jobs. But for this job, worked very fantastically, and we were very, very happy with it. No dust anywhere. Didn't have to get out the vacuum cleaner. Didn't have kids walking through the dust. Because, yes, my children are down here with my wife. I think we talked about that in the other video. So it's like, we're doing this construction stuff, but I'm also having to keep everything safe so that they're not touching things and hurting themselves or getting paint all over themselves. And yeah, it's whatever. Anyway, so the next project I'm pretty sure is going to be knockdown that we're going to have to spray up there. So on all those patches, I was talking about this in the last video, Florida, for some reason, all of them, everyone that's there is like, hey, let's just put texture on our walls. Not just on our ceilings, let's do it on our walls, everywhere. So we have knockdown that we have to put up there. So we went to Home Depot and got the knockdown in a can thing. I've had, it's been hit or miss with this stuff. Sometimes it's really, really good. Sometimes it's really horrible. In this case, it worked out pretty well. Look, you see my children right there with my wife. And she's like, what are you about to do? But yeah, so this stuff works most of the time. It's just really, you got to be moving. Like, see how fast I'm moving around there? And you just keep moving around. And then you got to really feather it out on the outsides. I didn't go as far as I should have gone with that. And that would have made it a lot better. But it still came out pretty well. So you spray this stuff up, then you got to get a knockdown knife, which is pretty much just a regular mud knife with some foam on it. I have nice knockdown knives in Birmingham. I just forgot them, I couldn't find them. That was the problem. I have like nice squeegees. I think I threw them away because I was like, I never use these, and I paid a lot of money for those things too. So it's kind of really stupid of me to throw them away. But anyway, I have my mood there, just telling me like kind of where to do things. And then we hopped up on the ladder and got this thing that, you notice that Mahmood's not doing anything. It's because I don't trust him to do anything because he's not listening to me, okay? He doesn't listen, doesn't do things right. Anyway, so you just move this thing, you kind of just knock it down as much as you want to. You can change the dial on the little canister and it will tell you like, oh, it's more knockdown goes on, less knockdown goes on. It's really just popcorn sealing, and then whoosh, you just go over it. I know, like not like a whip, but like spraying like that. Anyway, right here, I just had way too little knockdown on it, so I went and sprayed more just to make it like look a little bit closer to what everything was. Upstairs, I guess I thought the same thing too. Now, this was messy because it was getting down on the stairs, but again, it was easier to wipe this stuff up. I kind of let it dry. I never wipe it up when it's wet. Easier just to wait for it to dry, and then you can scrape it a little bit. You can even sweep it up at that point, and you're good to go. So with the knockdown, you got to wait for it to dry a little bit. Then you can knock it down. I think I watched some guy on TikTok. He was in Colorado. So I knew how to do this because I've watched his videos like 5,000 times. It's like Pickle, or I can't remember what it was. He's just like, all he does is like drywall repairs. And so I used to watch him all the time. So yeah, so I'm like kind of an expert at this, right? I'm a YouTube, TikTok veteran on this project of popcorn ceilings and knockdown ceilings. Just a lot of, I mean, not a lot of time. It's just like waiting, and it's really annoying. But again, you know, if you can make it work, it's so much easier than going and getting a hopper and doing it. You can also flip the, like with your fingers and stuff like that. That also works. So that's fine too. Then next we had, this is one of those things where like this handyman that was supposed to take care of all this. If you guys remember the whole story, which I keep having to remind you guys all these stories. So the handyman was the one responsible for all these repairs and getting this place like 80% of what it should be. So like we didn't have, there's some of the shutoffs don't have the U-station or whatever, I think it's called the U-station, around it. So, and they just left that way. So Mahmoud and I went around, there was a couple of them for the toilets that we went ahead and did. There was one upstairs too, but we have to actually paint around the shutoff because they never painted it. Like it's just like little things like this, which are so easy. And then next we had, of course, my wife is cooking us dinner in the crock pot, but we were setting up because we were going to do the grout. They never grouted the backsplash. So this backsplash has been here for like 7 years, I want to say. And it has never been touched. They never did the grout or anything like that. They just put the tile up and that was it. So we're like, okay, fine. This is like a super simple solution to that. Just go get some grout. They actually had, they have the grout. It's out in the utility closet, which is even crazier. So I never got that. But anyways, we got that whole thing set up for grout. Before we did the grout though, we're like, let's go ahead. And my grandmother-in-law, she put up all this bamboo like wallpaper that you're seeing, okay? So that's all bamboo, actual bamboo. And she made it look really, really nice, you know, very beachy, whatever. And these idiots came in and sprayed the paint for the ceiling, and they oversprayed all over her bamboo walls. So I'm like, okay, I really would like to make this look nicer. You know, my grandmother's not here anymore, which is really unfortunate. I wish I could, like, you know, if she was here, obviously I would probably do whatever it took to get this thing or find new stuff or something. But yeah, so we're going to try to spray some mineral spirits on this thing and just see if we can get the paint to come off. Because I don't know what kind of paint. It should only be water-based paint. But you know, as we're about to see, when I start spraying the mineral spirits on here, it does not go as planned. This is like the first time I would say that I ever really took it seriously of like covering stuff up, because I'm sleeping in the bed that we just covered. So, you know, we're going to take the prep work a lot more seriously. Anyway, so this is me spraying mineral spirits. I'm like, maybe this would come out. And I was really hoping it would. All I ended up doing was making the whole room smell like mineral spirits, and I had to sit there and air it out because my kids are sleeping in this room too with us. And the paint just would not come off. I tried and tried and tried. I mean, I tried for a very long time, spraying a lot of mineral spirits on there, and I wasn't getting anything to even budge. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I wasn't getting anything to budge. Nothing was coming off. They did a horrible job. You can see the terrible job they did on this. And yeah, so I tried and tried and tried, sprayed and sprayed and sprayed, used a lot of stuff that I just, you know, was way too much. And then it just wasn't coming off. So I just, at that point, I just gave up. I was like, I don't really know exactly how to do this. I would think we're just gonna have to take this thing down, put new stuff up. And they're like, my aunts were like, don't worry about that. We're not gonna deal with it. Thank you for trying. At least someone tried to get that stuff down, because they just left it there. Come in, paint it, spray it, you know, and they don't even do a good job. Because like you can see, if you look up on the screen, you can see that there's a little line where the wallpaper and the ceiling meet, and it's like so horrible what they were doing, like the paint that they put on there, the paint job they did. Like that's not even close to being good. So anyway, another easy thing that could have been done is the station that goes around the shower head right there. They just left it off. They're like, we're just like not gonna do it. So I'm like, okay. So with the twist of a pair of channel locks, we got the shower head off. I actually don't even think we had to use the channel locks. I think it just came off. It was really easy. So we took this thing off, put the U-station on. You can see it now. I love how I didn't film me putting the U-station on there, but now it's on there. Now I'm tightening it back. Looks a lot better now. Looks like an actual shower, not just like someone threw it together and then, I forgot, so I'm just not gonna. Like that's again, these are the problems I have with this guy. Like, it's just, why not just, like, he was always like, my guys walked off on me and I have to do this stuff myself. Do you not know how to take off a shower head and put on a U-station, put on some trim? Like, really? You don't know how to do that? But you're the handyman? There's gonna be some more videos that come out here. Also have one on my Instagram and on my TikTok and on YouTube Shorts. Where I go over like the sink downstairs and like what he did with the plumbing. Absolutely horrible. Super simple plumbing and just doesn't do anything right. I just don't understand it whatsoever. But anyway, we'll go back to this stuff. So we got that done. Next is Mahmoud learning how to do grout. Now, I will say this. I'm going to give Mahmoud this. He did a fantastic job at the grout. I was not, and I think the grout is way too soupy. I never do grout. I get Roberto to do it. I don't do tile work. I just don't like doing that kind of stuff. It's so tedious, and I'd rather just leave it for them. I'd rather pay them, not even worry about it. This grout was way too soupy, but it still worked out in the end. And Mahmoud did a really, really good job for being his first and only time even holding a float. I was super impressed. He really did a good job. Got all like there was a couple parts where I had to go back and like show him like, hey, we need to make sure that we get this part, we get that part, but overall he did a fantastic job. And we got this thing I thought was gonna take a lot longer to do the grout. It probably only took us about 30 or 40 minutes to get all the grout in there, and then even go back and fill in spots that we didn't hit, which was really nice. So like I said, we just sat here, kind of listened to some music. I was gonna film this for like YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram, but I was like, whatever. I'll do a horrible job filming it for YouTube because I got this the little rig on right now, and of course I'm not actually like staring. Like I forgot you can flip it up a little bit more. That's what I should have done. Well, that's it for today in Destin. We will be back in the next episode, finishing up painting and doing a bunch of other stuff, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
This is Goodman back with another.